Sometimes the most dangerous man in the room is the one who barely says a word. Breeze is that man. Quiet, calculating, and moving in the shadows. And now all signs point to him setting his sights on Unique. This ain't just another street beef. This is a game of survival, and in episode 10 of Raising Kanan season 4, Breeze might make a move that changes everything. The streets of South Jamaica, Queens, don't forget. Power shifts fast, loyalty comes and goes, and anyone can turn into an enemy overnight. As we head into the final episode of season 4, everything is starting to boil over. Kanan is caught between two worlds, his loyalty to his family and his search for his own identity. At the same time, two key players are slowly circling each other, Breeze and Unique. The tension has been building, quiet and slow, but steady. And now, it feels like we're reaching the point where somebody's gotta go. To understand why Breeze might be the one to take out Unique, we have to look at how things have been lining up since Breeze first stepped onto the scene. He hasn't had many lines. He doesn't flash like the others, but that's what makes him dangerous. He watches, he listens, and he moves when nobody expects it. Unlike most of the other characters, Breeze doesn't try to prove himself loud. He's been gaining power by staying under the radar, and now he's close to the top of the food chain. Meanwhile, Unique's role has been changing. In earlier seasons, he was a clear villain, the guy who wanted Rack's crown, who tried to crush Kanan's family, and who nearly got himself killed doing it. But lately, he's been trying to play a smarter game. He's not out in the open as much, he's talking more than shooting. He even teamed up with Rack at one point, showing a rare side of strategy and patience. But here's the thing. Nobody ever fully trusts Unique. Not Kanan, not Rack, and definitely not Breeze. In fact, it's Breeze who has the most reason to keep an eye on Unique. As Kanan's quiet mentor, Breeze is trying to guide him in a different direction. A colder, cleaner direction, and that means clearing the board of wild cards. Unique is unpredictable. He's got a history of flipping sides when it suits him. He's smart, but not loyal. And in Breeze's world, that kind of person is a problem. You can also feel the weight of all the silent stares, the awkward silences, and the moments when Breeze watches from the background while Unique talks. Those aren't empty scenes, and they're quiet warnings. Breeze doesn't need to speak much. His actions are louder, and you can sense it. He's planning something. Episode 9 gave us even more signs. Unique has been getting more confident again, walking with a bit more swagger, and inserting himself into conversations he shouldn't be part of. He's starting to forget his position, that he's not calling the shots anymore. Breeze, on the other hand, has been stepping up slowly. He's been closer to Kanan, whispering advice, nudging him away from Rack, and planting ideas that might take root later. Breeze is playing the long game, and in the long game, people like Unique are either assets or threats. The power dynamic is shifting. What used to be Rack versus Unique is now something deeper. A quiet war between the old ways and the new. Breeze doesn't yell. He doesn't chase credit. He's not flashy like Marvin or emotional like Lulu. But what he is calculated, and that makes him more dangerous than all of them combined. As we move into the finale, there's a sense of inevitability, the kind of feeling that tells you somebody's time is up. And right now, Unique is walking with a target on his back. The streets may not see it yet. Kanan may not realize it. But Breeze? He's already looking ahead. And when a man like that makes a move, he doesn't miss. In the game of power, silence is not peace, it's preparation. Breeze isn't just quiet. He's waiting. Watching Unique move around like the game is still his. Watching Kanan struggle between loyalty and legacy. Watching Rack slip in and out of control. But Breeze doesn't wait forever. And in episode 10, that wait might be over. Let's break this down. Because Breeze killing Unique wouldn't just be a random act of violence. It would be a move with meaning, a message, and most of all, a necessity. First, understand what Breeze represents. He's not just another corner boss or muscle, he's strategic. He's building something, a future through Kanan. He's trying to shape Kanan into something different from the chaos that raised him. More Ghost, less Marvin. More calculating, less reaction. But to do that, Breeze needs control. And he needs silence around Kanan. No noise, no static, just clarity. Unique is the opposite of clarity. He's unpredictable. One minute he's smiling, the next he's plotting. He's slick, but he's unstable. He's a survivor, and survivors like him don't stay down for long. They wait for weakness. They wait for an open door. And right now, Breeze sees the door and knows Unique is about to walk through it. From Breeze's point of view, Unique is a threat on two levels. First, he's a threat to power. Breeze is rising. He's putting his pieces in place. He's working his way into Kanan's trust and away from Rack's shadow. He's setting up something bigger than just one block. And Unique? He's the type to shake that whole thing apart just to get back on top. He's been left out too long, and men like Unique don't handle silence well. They turn it into chaos. That's dangerous for Breeze's slow burn strategy. Second, Unique is a threat to Kanan himself. Breeze sees Kanan like a seed, full of potential but needing the right soil. Unique is poison in that soil. He drips charm and game, but it's all rooted in ego and impulse. Breeze wants Kanan to be methodical, disciplined, sharp. Unique tempts him with the loud life, fast moves, flashy threats, and short-term power. Breeze knows Kanan can't afford that, not now. Not if he's going to be more than just another street soldier. Now let's get into the psychology of it. Breeze doesn't just kill because someone crosses a line, he eliminates when the math makes sense. And with Unique, the math is adding up fast. In episode 9, Unique started getting bold, again. His tone shifted, his posture changed. He was testing limits. That's what Breeze sees. Not confidence, but movement. Dangerous movement. A man who's waiting to strike just as the new order is settling in. Also, look at Breeze's temperament. He's not impulsive like Rack, who acts on emotion. He's not vengeful like Marvin. Breeze plays chess, not dice. If he decides to take Unique out, it's not personal. It's structural. He's removing the one piece that could knock the whole table over. And he'd do it without hesitation, without fanfare, without guilt. Let's go deeper. There's something symbolic about this kill too. Breeze represents the beginning of Kanan's transformation into the man we know from Power. Killing Unique could be the final step in that shift. It's not just about removing a rival, it's about burning the past. Unique was a voice from the old world, the world of loud hustlers, big egos, and unstable kings. Breeze's move would show Kanan that real power isn't loud, it's quiet, it's planned, and it's merciless. Think about the bigger Power universe. Every major character we've seen rise to the top has had to make a defining move, something that cut them off from their past, something that showed they were ready to be more. For Ghost, it was moving on from Tommy and killing Breeze. For Kanan, it might be witnessing Breeze make that kind of move, watching it, learning from it, adopting it, because when Breeze takes out Unique, if he does, it won't be with drama, it'll be with precision, a clean break, no noise, no warning. Just a reminder that the real killers don't talk, they move. That's the motive. That's the mindset. Breeze isn't looking for revenge, he's not trying to make a name, he's removing a liability, he's protecting his vision, he's sharpening Kanan. And if that means Unique has to go, then so be it. You don't kill a man like Unique in the middle of chaos. You don't come at him head on. You wait. You find the silence. You build a moment so normal, so familiar, that he never sees the blade until it's already in his back, and that's exactly how Breeze would do it. See, Breeze isn't a storm. He's fog. He doesn't move fast. He creeps in slowly, wrapping around the edges, soft and quiet, until the whole block is swallowed, and no one knows what hit them. And Unique? He's been walking into that fog this whole season without even realizing it. The setup has already started. Breeze isn't loud, but he's everywhere. He's been spending more time with Kanan, not just as a mentor, but as a replacement. Where Rack used to speak, Breeze now whispers. Where Unique used to command. Attention, Breeze quietly observes. He's pulling Kanan in without pressure, giving him space to make choices while carefully placing the weight of those choices in his hands. And somewhere in that process, he's making sure Kanan sees Unique the way he sees him, not as a partner but as a threat to focus. Now picture this. Episode 10 opens slow. No gunshots, no chase, just business, a calm before the storm. Breeze calls a sit-down. Maybe it's masked as a peace talk. Maybe it's about territory. Maybe it's about getting Kanan to step up and own something. Whatever the reason, the invite goes out. Unique shows up. He's sharp, stylish, relaxed, thinks he's about to secure his position again. Maybe he even thinks Breeze is finally giving him some respect, but Breeze doesn't do respect. He does calculation. This scene wouldn't play out in some dramatic, explosive way. It would happen in a place that feels safe, familiar. Maybe a quiet garage. Maybe a back room in a club where they've met before. Maybe even Rack's old spot, a place that holds memory, a ghost of a former war. Wherever it is, it's somewhere Breeze can control the air, the timing, the exits. Kanan might be there. Or maybe he was just the reason Unique showed up in the first place. That's the brilliance of the move. Breeze doesn't need to act like the threat. He lets Kanan draw the bait, even without knowing it. He lets loyalty blur the line between friendship and setup. Unique, being who he is, senses something is off. Maybe he starts to talk too much, tries to charm the room. Maybe he throws a little shade, flexes an old win. But Breeze is unmoved. He's calm. Maybe he says one line, just one. Something like, "This ain't personal, it's progress." And that's when it happens. Not a shootout, not a scream, just a single shot. Clean, efficient, close. If Breeze does it himself, it's surgical. If he has someone else do it, it's still his design. Either way, Unique falls not with a bang but with a look of disbelief. Because the truth is, he never thought Breeze would be the one. And that's the whole point. Now let's say Kanan is there. That changes everything. He sees Breeze for what he really is. Not just a mentor, but an architect of cold power. Kanan might not agree. He might feel the shock. But deep down, something clicks. Something changes. Because Breeze didn't kill out of emotion. He killed to clear the board. After the hit, Breeze doesn't celebrate, doesn't run. He just leaves, quiet, cold, like a man who finished something he started a long time ago. This scene would leave ripples. No big headlines, just fear. Everyone who hears about it would get the message. Breeze ain't loud, but he's lethal. And anyone playing both sides, like Unique was, is living on borrowed time. And here's what makes it brilliant. Breeze would still be standing in the background by the end of the episode. Still quiet, still watching. But now, he's the one everyone watches. The ghost who became king without raising his voice. In the Power universe, death is never just death. It's a message, a shift, a scar on the story that never truly fades. And if Breeze kills Unique in episode 10, it won't just be another street murder. It'll be a legacy move, one that echoes across the whole timeline of the Power saga. Here's why. The Power universe has always been about transformation. It's about who you were, who you are, and what you have to become in order to survive. From Ghost to Tommy to Kanan, every major figure has been shaped by betrayal, loss, and that one choice that turns them into something more, or something worse. And for Breeze, this could be his defining choice. Let's go back to Ghost, the man who became legend. We know that somewhere down the line, Kanan kills Breeze, that's canon. But before that moment, something had to make Breeze worthy of being feared, worthy of being seen as a mentor, worthy of being remembered. Killing Unique would be the move that cements his name in Kanan's story. The move that tells us Breeze wasn't just a wise OG in the background, he was a kingmaker, and sometimes a king killer. There's a pattern in this universe. The quiet ones, the thinkers, the ones who don't move until it's time. They're the real power. Ghost was never the loudest. He just made the most precise moves. Breeze is cut from that same cloth. that same dangerous silence. If he takes out Unique, it becomes a moment that defines how Kanan sees power. Not through noise, not through brute force, but through control. This is important because Kanan's path is still uncertain. He's been floating between identities: his mother's son, Unique's student, Breeze's protege. Every major influence around him has been trying to shape him into something. Rack wants him sharp and loyal. Unique wants him slick and flashy. Breeze? Breeze wants him clear, focused, cold, but not messy. And by removing Unique, Breeze would be removing the final echo of Kanan's confusion. This is where the theme gets deeper, the idea of inheritance. Not money, not territory, but mindset. In power, people pass down more than names. They pass down ways of moving. Breeze's kill wouldn't just be a play for control. It would be him handing Kanan a blueprint, not through words, but through action, showing him what it looks like when power makes the hard call, when survival means silence, when loyalty means letting go of sentiment. And then there's the symbolism of Unique himself. Think about it. He's been the most stylish, most performative character in the show. Always talking, always scheming, always dressed like the king he believes he is. Killing him isn't just eliminating a rival, it's rejecting a whole style of power. Breeze isn't about flash, he's about foundation. By taking Unique out, Breeze would be sending a message. The age of loud kings is over. The age of quiet architects has begun, and don't forget the emotional layer. Kanan looked up to Unique in his own way, that older brother energy, that street wisdom. Losing him, especially at the hands of Breeze, would shake him. It would hurt. But pain in power always comes before growth. And this would be the pain that forces Kanan to finally choose his path. Not just in the streets, but in his soul. Now, zoom out. If this kill happens, it could be the exact moment that plants the seed for Breeze's own downfall, because we know Kanan eventually turns on him. Could this be the beginning? Could Kanan watch Breeze kill Unique and silently decide, one day I'm going to do the same to you? That's the beauty of this moment. It doesn't just end a character. It starts a prophecy. Breeze becomes more than a side figure. He becomes part of Kanan's origin myth. And in the power universe, those myths always start with betrayal, ambition, and blood. So when we talk about Breeze killing Unique, we're not just talking about a plot twist. We're talking about a ritual, a passing of fire, a spark that lights the darker side of Kanan's journey. Because power doesn't just kill characters, it builds legacies through them.